Hi guys, it's me, Jewel Denial. Hit subscribe below or don't, you know the drill. Anyway, today I'm going to be talking about rock stars, porn stars, some of my favorite bands, what I used to dance to when I was on the road. So yeah, a little bit of my interests. Like everybody that knows me, I think knows that I really love rock and heavy metal, like that's my jam. But I do have a very intricate playlist where I will go anywhere from Billie Holiday to Louis Armstrong to Ella Fitzgerald to Lana Del Rey, all the way to Motley Crue, Megadeth, Metallica, Dio. So I have very eclectic taste when it comes to music, but I say 90% of what I listen to is hard rock for sure. When I used to dance, I danced a lot to Marilyn Manson. Very popular at the time. His music was very good on surround systems and had like the spookiness about it. And I used to do a lot of like dominatrix type stuff when I danced. So his music is mostly what I danced to when I was on the road. Him, Metallica, Guns N' Roses, a few Motley Crue songs, but mostly Marilyn Manson. And I still like Marilyn Manson today. I think he's a brilliant artist. I think he's very innovative. I also feel like he's super weird and his shit's real weird, but I dig it. His music videos, if you've ever watched any of them, or like watching a movie, they're brilliantly done. And there's a lot of thought put behind him. And I also really like Hole, like Courtney Love back in the day. Hole was always fun to dance to as well. And Celebrity Skin, I think, was one of my favorite songs. I still play it today. And Violet, still on my playlist. Lita Ford, Ozzy Osbourne, of course, all really great. Lita Ford put out this book that I can really relate to about her life, her biography, and it's kind of like a lot of the same shit I went through. But the thing is, like, porn stars and rock stars pretty much have the same lifestyle. You have your fan base, you're on the road touring, you're doing signings, you're putting on performances for audiences. It's relatable. It's a relatable lifestyle. There's the parties, there's the groupies. Um, it is what it is, and I think there's a mutual understanding between musicians and porn stars. That's why you've seen a lot of them date one another. Porn stars, musicians dating is not something that's like, oh, that's so shocking. Like, no, that was a norm in, I'm going to say, like the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, even up to today. You saw Janine was on the cover of, who was it? Was it Green Day or one of those guys' bands? I didn't really listen to that stuff, but, or Blink 182. To me, they kind of mashed those groups, but she was on the cover of, you know, like a platinum selling album. Janine being Janine, of course, she looks like a supermodel, so I could see why she was on there. Tara Patrick was married to a rock star for years. Jenna Jameson dated rock stars, and I believe she dated even Tommy Lee. Like, so it's not like one of those, weird things. But I've met a lot of them, but I have never fucked anybody or dated anyone in the music business because I know my industry, they know their industry. I have mutual respect for it, but I also know what goes on behind the scenes, and it's just not a lifestyle that I want behind closed doors, if that makes any sense. Recently, I had the pleasure of meeting Sean Drover of Megadeth, drummer, He happened to be at a restaurant slash sky bar that I was at. Him and his wife were absolutely a pleasure to meet. And I know if they could, the stories they could tell from being on the road in their years. I mean, I got a little bit of the storytelling while we were at the bar, which was fun and awesome. Vince Neil, and Nikki Sixx, I did a radio show with both of them in New York. And when they were promoting the book, The Dirt, I went to Virgin Records in New York because I was also there promoting a book that I had been featured in called Naked Ambition. And so we were hanging out and talking and, just normal guys. And Vince Neil I've also met and hung out with at AVN's one year. Him and his wife was there with him. And he's super cool, just laid back. Met Gene Simmons. He had his little entourage, which he was in character mode, I want to say, not like his real self. Musicians go into character mode, porn stars go into character mode when we are in certain environments. We're actors, actresses, and we're putting on the persona. So Gene Simmons wasn't exactly like the most friendly person because he was in character, and I understood that wasn't a big deal. And it is what it is. So I've never been like super starstruck because I would hang out at Rainbow Room sometimes. Back in the 90s and 2000s, there was always rock stars, people hanging out there. And I got to stage dance at a weenie roast in Anaheim. It was like a K-Rock weenie roast in 2000. Ozzy Osbourne was there. We were all behind scenes. Snoop Dogg, I've met a million times. He used to be a frequent flyer, I would say, at the AVNs. Him and his entourage. It was funny because when I was backstage in 2000, his son, Jack Osbourne, who's now like a celebrity, was driving around a golf cart, and I was there with Sky. She was a ex-Vivid girl. I don't know if you remember her. We were walking around backstage, and he almost ran into us with his golf cart, almost ran us over. So that's my Jack Osbourne story. He was probably 9 or 10 years old, maybe 11, I don't know. But he about took us out with a golf cart, and he's just laughing and having a good time backstage. I was like, child is growing up in a rock star environment. And I was just thinking, wow, that's crazy to grow up like that. But wow, how cool too. Like, he must be having the time of his life, seeing all these scantily dressed chicks all the time. And just growing up around it was probably not even a big deal for him. So I hung out with Pauly Shore was there, and him and I had an on and off thing during that point. He was there because Limp Bizkit was there, and he was really friends with the lead singer of Limp Bizkit. He ended up going into producing and directing. He's actually a really good producer, director, and actor. His name escapes me, but the lead singer of Limp Bizkit, you know who I'm talking about. I met him, and Creed was there. I met Scott from Creed. He was showing pictures to all of us porn chicks that were in the back of his child and just talking normal and hanging out. So, life on the road, I think, can also be pretty lonely for those guys. And when you go there, you hang out and party with them, it's just kind of an atmosphere. They're just trying to get through the tour, pretty much. But yeah, I always enjoyed the music, and those are some of my favorite bands. I think Rainbow in the Dark by Dio is my absolute number one favorite song because I can relate to it. And that's that. I mean, that's the lifestyle of musicians and porn stars. It just kind of always meshed, and I was grateful to meet a lot of the people I did get to meet during my career. I remember there was a guy from Blink-182, I think he was the drummer or whatever, and I was doing this thing for MTV down in San Diego. Britney Spears was there, I met her. Taylor Swift was just brand new. Also, Jessica Simpson was there. And she was brand new promoting her first album. This is how far this goes back. And I was talking to one of the guys from Blink 182, and I was asking him, so how long have you worked for MTV? I had no idea who he was. I was oblivious to all the people that were around me. I only recognized a few, but every single person that was around me was like a big somebody, because I was backstage at this huge beach event that MTV was doing. So that was pretty funny. And I gave him because at the time we had like fan cards with your information, like your email or whatever on it, your fan PO box where fans can send you fan mail and stuff, because that we had these little business card like things that had all the information. I remember giving that to him and telling him, yeah, if you ever want to get a hold of me for anything, just give me a call, or get a hold of my email and I'll email it. And he's just kind of looking at me because he knew I had no clue who he was. So that was funny. But yeah, so my career's been very surprising, interesting. And when I met Sean Drover, it was purely by accident, just same place, same time, at a luxury resort at one of the Sky Bars and having dinner. So that was really cool. I didn't recognize him, but there was a girl there that was asking him what he did for a living. He was like, oh, I'm a drummer for Megadeth. And I was like, what? So yeah, meeting him lately was really refreshing, and just talking. We had mutual friends like Jeremy Wagner, who is guitarist for Broken Hope, which is a real heavy metal band. He's amazing, by the way. So it's just fun. Common world, small world. And those are some of my interests in music. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.